And the thing that has moved Mincam the most has been the annual cultural events. And that again goes to one of the existing committees that we had in Mincam from the very beginning, and you seem to have a little bit about that. And thank goodness Fozo Foji Fogambangwana is right here with us. And moving forward, what's the big ambition for the 2012 cultural event?
There is a lot. As you can see, the community is very engaged. The community is actually at a level whereby they want to see output, they want to participate, they want the community to be reflective of who they are, and even above that. So, of course, the Rep Assembly, the Representative Assembly of Mincam, which is, of course, the assembly of these that are the cultural groups as well as the alumni associations of Mincam, and that community is hearing and listening to those needs, and also talking with the executive group to be able to capture that into the cultural week for next year. And those thoughts are still going on at the moment, and there are several ideas that have been bounced.
Okay, again, we are talking about community engagement because, of course, that's part of the social contract. And while, Mr. President, you were talking about engaging the seniors in our community, and you also talked about the interview we had with Mr. Ndeli, who's been in this country in Minnesota for 35 years, there was this idea about an advisory committee to advise the president, and there is also a way you're trying to do to connect the youths. You're not leaving out the seniors. And I know that you were invited in one of a meeting in which the youths are planning to revive or to begin a new CAMSA, Minnesota. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you intend to engage these young folks into the Mincam concept?
As a matter of fact, we as Mincam were privileged to be invited by these young folks in Minnesota for their inaugurative meeting. They are actually in the process of bringing to light a students' union here in Minnesota, which is called CAMSA, Cameroon Students Association. So some of us went to that formative meeting. In the process of bringing that group to light, we gave them some guidelines on how to bring that. And our intention is actually to put that group under the umbrella of the Minnesota community as one of the youth arm of our organization here in Minnesota. And we hope to work with them hand in glove to make sure that their needs are being attended to as much as we can.
Now, perhaps Mr. Robert Asuka, you can talk a little bit and you can add into that to the Christmas party, the kids' party is coming up. It's something that was planned last year. It was also pretty good. And so there's a way that everyone seems to be brought on board. It's like in my father's house, there are many rooms on board. There is one for you and there's one for everyone. And tell us a little bit about the kids' party coming up this Christmas.
Okay. I'm going to take you a little backwards to the committee, to the social committee that was created, because this has been the strings and the motivation for the upcoming Christmas party. I think one of the things we did with Mincam when we got in was that we said we wanted to do things different and also make things more engaging to everybody instead of just letting a handful of people organize everything for Mincam. So we created a social committee that's based on 15 people, and these are 15 ardent and passionate lovers of Mincam. And what they've done so far, they've got a hall, which is already booked, and they've come up with new and very innovative ideas that we'll be hearing in the coming days of how they want to move the Christmas party forward. And I can always speak with certainty that this will be one of the best Christmas parties Mincam has ever seen.
Thank you very much. The community is really engaged and involved. And the other part of the social contract is about the electorates being constantly and keeping to their word that when you elect members into government, you want to support them all through the process. What are each and every one of you, would you tell me what your own assessment of the situation has been? Do you feel, and this is your personal opinion about it, if the community is fully engaged? Perhaps I should start with you, Mr. Robert.
Oh, yeah, I think
and what are the signs, I mean, in your department, perhaps, to show that
there's a lot of enthusiasm about Mincam. In fact, I've seen the level of engagement I have not seen with any other immigrant association, and considering that we are, by every standard, considered a startup organization, I think we've achieved quite a number of things that have motivated people. I can tell you right off the top of my head that we've established a Mincam logo officially, which has been accepted by both the board and the executive. We've created the official letterhead of Mincam, which I'm sure a few people have also seen, we've created a permanent mailbox for Mincam. Mincam has a non-personal permanent mailbox now. It's not somebody's house number or somebody's office number anymore. We have also published for one of the first time the Mincam Financial Report. These are things that the community was dying for. They were hungry for things like that. We have one of the highest, probably, I mean, debatably the highest registration drive for life insurance. And, you know, we've created committees. There's a likability, there's a general enthusiasm for people to see Mincam being lifted to higher heights.
Talking about likability, Mr. President, one of your campaign promises was that you would visit people, you would visit the cultural groups. The chair of the Rep Assembly is right here. How far have you gone with paying those visits to the cultural groups? And if you have not done so, what is keeping you? You might have been involved in a lot of work at the background, but have you been able to visit some of them? And if not, what is keeping you, and when should they expect you?
As a matter of fact, when I came into office, one of the first groups that I had the privilege to visit was the Bafut Manjong Cultural Association that had their meeting sometime last month. I was invited to come to their meeting, and I did. I talked to them about this life insurance program, and a lot of them actually bought the idea. And today we have members of that group who are members of the insurance program. There is a popular women's Njangi group here in town. I think it's one of the oldest groups in terms of Njangi groups here in town that have been in existence. I had the opportunity and the privilege to be invited to that meeting, and I talked to them as well on behalf of the Cameroon community, and everybody seems to be engaged. Talking about what enthusiasm people have at this point with Mincam, just for the records, when we came into office, the E-Group, which is a communication forum here that links Cameroonians together, we have brought on board an additional 120 members as of today in 64 days so far. So the E-Group is actually a good way of linking Cameroonians here together, bringing information readily to Cameroonians here in Minnesota. That is one giant step that we have taken as a group. And I think it shows a lot of community engagement. People are getting more and more interested. People are calling on a daily basis to be subscribed to the E-Group. And we hope that by the end of the first year of this administration, we would have covered at least 50% of Cameroonians here in Minnesota.
And to you, Mr. Forgy Forgang, how many members, how many registered groups do we have in the Representative Assembly, and have you seen any increase so far? And what are the feedbacks you are getting, given the current wave of more engagement and excitement that we're having in the community?
We used to have about 26 groups, and we have moved from 26 to 30 groups. And there is still the need to grow. And there is, of course, within those groups, there are members within those groups that still need to be reached. And the Mincam idea and concept and reach for unity and brotherhood and sisterhood still be extended. And I think that is a good sign. In terms of engagement and in terms of enthusiasm in the community, it is palpable. And you can also see that in the level of and the quality of the emails you see. You can see that in the level of functions and the discussions among people, and how they talk and how they are looking forward to some positivity, and that the organization is also slowly maturing. And I would like to also thank the new executive, because they have been in power for 2 months, and I'm hearing 100 people being enrolled in the insurance program, 100 and so people being enrolled in the e-forum. These are all things that take a while to get there, and they've done a good job so far.
Now, perhaps before moving away from you, we should talk a little bit about an innovation that it's going to kick on this year, which wasn't there last year, in terms of how you become a member of the Rep Assembly as a group, as a cultural organization, as an alumni association. It's moved from just walking in into, I think the bylaws is now requesting that you actually be having not a 501c status, but you actually be registered with the state. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because the community needs to know there are new groups, there are groups that didn't have that before, and they have some time to make sure that they get this done before they can effectively join MINCAM. But can you tell us a little bit about that and perhaps why?
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, on November 27th, the Rep Assembly is going to meet, and the purpose, or one of the purposes of that meeting, is to be able to apply consistently the requirement that for a representative assembly member, which means a cultural group or an alumni association, that you be able to be registered as a group through the state of Minnesota. And to do that, to show that, you need to have a certificate of incorporation. And the secretary of MINCAM will be there, and the executive members, of course, the president included, to be able to take those certificates, and that group is then an official member of the representative assembly. At the moment, we had a structure whereby in the building phase of MINCAM, those that came and told us that they had groups and they had an executive were automatically put as a member of the Rep Assembly. But we're going to be moving from that phase as part of this new enthusiasm, as part of a maturing group or a group in adolescence, whatever term we may prefer. We would now be instituting and making sure that these groups have a legal standing, as well as helping them, if they need some help, to be able to understand why it is important for them to be a legal, recognized organization in Minnesota. That will also be a service that can be done.
Well, gentlemen, this has been a very, very interesting and very, very educative conversation we're having. And before we round up, I would start off by quoting Chinua Achebe, who says that when you see a bird dancing in the pathway, know that the drummer is in the nearby bush, suggesting that if a man has enthusiasm and love for a community, something must be pushing them. And I would like to start with you, Mola Robert Esoka. What motivates you the most to put in so much time, so much sacrifice? You're not being paid, you are engaged, you've been spending sleepless nights just for your community.
I can tell you right off the top of my head that this is a labor of love. I'm not doing this for any personal gain. I'm doing it out of simple love for my community. And I enjoy it so much. I enjoy it so much. I do it with so much enjoyment and gusto that, you know, I hope I can effectively pass this as a contagious disease to someone else to take the baton and move on.
Mr. President?
Well, working for the common good has actually always been my principle in life, and the reason why I came to office was to actually work for the common good of Cameroonians in Minnesota, and that has been my driving force, and I hope that this would continue. And that said, I pray that our community continues to grow by leaps and bounds and get together more than ever before.
And I would say that, and add to the same points that my two brothers here said, I would say service. Service out of love. Service to the community. Service because we are where we are, because others had to serve.
With this, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our panel discussion for today. Gentlemen, once more, good luck to you in your office, and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for inviting us.